Because I was like asking them where they're from, and they were saying they're from another star system and another dimension, but they do exist on our timeline. So they're not necessarily from the future or the past like some of the other people we've been in contact with. They're from like right here and right now, but in another dimension. And they're very, very high. Like they're very high vibrational. It takes me a minute to kind of understand their energy. Normally when I'm in contact with a Pleiadian, I can kind of like, it feels really familiar, so I get it really quickly when they're communicating with us. But this is so different. They're saying, it's like we have a thick accent. That's what they're saying. They're a council of 5. But they're saying there's only 4 of them right now because we are the 5. They're making me feel like our individual souls right now exist together in their dimension as one individual soul. And we're the 5th. But we chose to separate, to have a different experience. I don't understand that, of the same soul. We've done that a lot of times. That's really cool. So what they're making me feel like earlier is they're saying that this is something we have to start practicing. When we're going to bed at night, we need to visualize ourselves going up into the ship and into the healing beds. Okay. And we need to, part of that visualization needs to be really tuning into the energy that's running through our body from the healing bed, tuning into that energy as we fall asleep. It's going to somehow trigger our consciousness to stay awake during the night while we're traveling in the ship so that we can begin to remember it more and understand from a broader perspective kind of what's going on at night. They want to know, like, what would you like to start with?
Well, I was thinking when they were talking about existing in different dimensions, we always think that guides exist on a different planetary system, but I'm wondering if that's really the truth of it, or is it just every system is just a different frequency, a different dimension, and we just have a misunderstanding about it.
Yeah, they're making me feel like our understanding of dimensions is very like mixed up. It's kind of like the other day when we were talking about the layers of dimensions laying on top of the same moment.
Yes.
They're making me feel like that's exactly what it is. And that the veil that's diminishing as we move into a 5th dimensional reality is the veil between these dimensions, so that we can remove that separation, that we're all existing right here in the same reality. We'll be able to see that bigger picture. So all of the dimensions they're showing me are just laying on top of each other, just like pages in a book.
And that's literally, all of those dimensions are literally within me, because we tend to see things from the external world.
Yeah.
But that's our oneness.
Because you project your reality based on where you're vibrating.
Yes.
So this is why playing in your imagination can create these different realities that you're able to experience. It can tune you into being that multi-dimensional person. It tunes you into the vibration of having that experience. Yeah.
So how to, we're moving past just thinking in terms of, 5D being the goal when we're on our walks and I'm imagining what I'm doing in higher dimensions, kind of playing with that. How does that switch us from 5D, 9D, 83 dimensions? What is the difference between those, and what are we tuning into through the imagination?
Well, it's different experiences, and you're only utilizing the imagination to reach these higher vibrational frequencies right now while you're trying to pull yourself out of the matrix within the third dimension. Okay. So these are just tools that we're getting you to utilize now to pull yourself into these higher frequencies. Once you get into these higher frequencies, you'll just direct your consciousness to whatever experience you want to have. And each dimension really is just an experience of your own essence, your own energy. How do you want to feel that as God? It's source energy split into an infinite amount of experiences. And you get to choose in any moment what you want to experience, just like you can do that right now here in the 3D. But in the higher dimensions, you have different expectations and different desires, so you can tune into more.
So if we're tuning into more as we move into the higher dimensions, and let's say I want to experience, my brain doesn't even understand what I want to experience.
Exactly.
But let's assume that I've discovered that I want to experience a certain dimension. Am I then anchoring that into the new grid system?
No, you understand in that moment that your desire pulls you into the manifestation. Mm-hmm. And once you begin to experience it, you know that you create it around you. It's a very instantaneous thing in the higher dimensions. And if you're looking to tune into frequency and just experience these different higher frequencies, or you're wanting to experience more of a light being realm, it just depends on what you're wanting to experience. There's a lot of beings that are just going to want to experience a lot of the fifth dimension. They'll have a lot of experiences with exploring the Akashic record and playing in the quantum energy and really understanding from a human perspective what that looks like to interact with galactic beings and be a part of intergalactic travel. That's a lot of the human desire right now, is just to experience the fullness within this human consciousness. But there are a lot of other beings like yourself and like Crystal that will want to go and explore the different possibilities within frequency itself and what it really means to be a frequency of creation. Your desires to work with energy are very different compared to a lot of the collective. And that's okay. That's tied into your mission. It doesn't necessarily make it any better or any worse. The experience is just different. You experience a lot of the fifth dimension right now. So once you move into this reality and it is in your physical plane, you'll get bored very fast because you understand who you are. And the ideas and the concepts that you'll then be wanting to understand are going to be so much more than creating healing domes and working within the collective.
Is that where the sense of boredom that Crystal's feeling is coming from?
Oh, her soul is so bored here. She doesn't even know what to do with herself. And if we can't keep her out of her mind about it, that's when she starts to sink. She gets very critical on herself because of this boredom, and she feels like there's so much more she should be doing because her soul knows what's next. And we vibrationally are giving her glimpses of that energy when she's in the right match, when she's in the right alignment. And because she tastes that so frequently right now, being in a normal third dimensional life is like a very unchallenged student.
Yeah.
She needs more. She needs more stimulation. She needs to be able to access more of herself within this physical dimension. And the timeline's just not ready for that quite yet. but we're moving into that space, and we're moving into that space very quickly. She needs to remind herself of the expansion of her consciousness that's been occurring over these last 6 months.
I would say that this is probably a common thread for a lot of light workers, where we kind of feel like we're in
It's very common.
Space in between the holding pattern.
Yes.
It's a lot of people are waiting for this so-called event to rescue them.
Yes.
It's this, it's like we're waiting.
Yes.
So what are some...
But there are people who are waiting to be saved, and there are people who are waiting for what's next for them to manifest, because the energy is just not supporting that high of vibration in this reality yet. There are people that are tapping in this physical body into the 6th and 7th and 8th dimensional energies. And this realm can't support that kind of manifestation right now. So it does make things feel very boring here in the 3rd dimension for a lot of light workers. And that's when it's the most important for them to utilize their tools and make peace with where they are. And, really be in the wholeness of who you are, in understanding the fact that you are expanding within a conscious collective. While, yes, you have your individual path, this ascension as a whole is a very collective movement. So you're not going to see just one person moving into this entire 5th dimensional reality that's manifested in front of them. It's a 5th dimensional energetic essence that they're living. And that's what's pulling in the 5th dimensional manifestation for it to really become a reality. But we have to all go together. So there are people that are going to be in this part of their existence that are going to feel that there's so much more at their fingertips, yet it's not going to manifest quite yet. And we have to continually make peace with this transition that we're in, and not go into the old habits of self-blame and questioning the path, like Crystal was talking about this morning.
Yeah, what I'm learning is to take my imagination through my 3D work life, play life, grocery store, fill up the car with gas life, and just pretending that I'm doing my 5D work now. And that's actually kind of easing the process and not making me feel anxious about when is this going to happen, when are we going to do this, blah, blah. So that's been fun.
There's the inner tipping point is very close. We're really wanting everybody to understand that you're not waiting for an external event. You are waiting for an internal event.
Yes.
And this is why it's been stressed so highly that you follow your processes and you align yourself and you stay conscious and you pay attention to the way that you're acting and reacting. And you modify your behavior so that you can modify your vibration. And you stay in that conscious awareness as much as possible. It's knowing when to shut down the 3rd dimension so that you can really ground in these higher vibrational frequencies, so that it's not just you catch a glimpse of this person that you want to be every once in a while. It's that you automatically begin to become that person because that's what you're practicing, and you're not mixing up the vibration. You're not willing to accept anything less. You're not willing to interfere with what you're creating. While we're in this holding pattern, which is a very good way to describe that for a lot of people right now, it's very important to continue to work on maintaining your stability.
Yeah, we've been working with energies, working with the lower frequencies, feeling them out, and I had a powerful experience of feeling fear and then using the imagination to move from the fear to the outcome that I wanted. And that fear completely transformed into a powerful, powerful energy. It was mind-blowing, as you said before. Mind-blowing. What happened in that experience?
You allowed in the energy that you had called for. When you have an experience, as you know, you send off a rocket of desire. And because this was intense and asking you to release pieces of you that no longer resonate with who you're becoming, that it was easy to look at that intensity of the energy coming in to serve you and say, oh my gosh, this, this is what I've done before, or this is an experience I've had before, and we attach to it and we clench. We clench in that fear. And because you allowed yourself the space to be conscious and aware, you reminded yourself that it's just energy. You released the need to go into the clench and attach a memory, a story. And because you didn't attach it, you allowed the energy to serve you. And it was so powerful. It's really powerful to entertain these practices when the energy is not so strong, when you can really get a grip on it and practice it. But the amount of movement that you do in your own vibration, when you do it in a moment when you're triggered like that, there's literally no human words to express the kind of power you're harnessing in these moments. And that's why we are urging you in every moment to continue to follow these guidances, because they're shifting you.
Yeah, that's a game changer, because it moved me from fear doesn't even exist. It's an intense frequency coming through that's here to serve. Wow, that was a game changer. And I've been practicing with the little things, so when shit hit the fan, I have the tools.
Yeah.
Wow. Fear is bullshit.
And you weren't afraid to use them because you were prepared.
Right.
And this is how we want everybody to understand that you're going to get through this unknown. By utilizing the tools that are in front of you. There isn't anything to fear because you're being guided. You're being given what you need.
Yeah.
You're being hand-fed how to navigate this energy. It's just most don't want to listen. But when you can surrender and say, okay, I'm going to trust this process no matter what, and I'm going to do what it takes. I'm going to do what I've been told. I don't know if it's going to work, but I'm just going to do it anyway.
It worked.
It will work. It will work. There's a reason that people are being guided to this process, to this meditation, to this healing work. There's a reason. There's a reason they're being called. But you've lived in a dimension that hasn't been working for you, that's been working against you for so long that you add your doubt into these frequencies that are now here to serve you. So we keep creating the same thing over and over and over again. And we are asking you and Crystal to begin to really practice taking your frequency up as soon as you feel the integration energy come in. Because you don't need time. You need your tools to get back to where you know you can be, and then assess everything from there. It's never the time to assess energy or lessons or what you're going through when you're in the middle of an integration. You utilize your tools, your positive affirmations, you do your gratitude, you take care of yourself, you pull yourself out the way you know to by moving your body, shifting this energy, trusting yourself. And then when you get there, you can look back at everything and say, okay, this is what I choose now. Because it's such a more broad grouping of information that you can assess from that point. When you're in your integration, you have such a small point of view. And yet we always want to make decisions and take clarity from that space. So So really work on being in a space of integration and then going back to who you know you are. Be in integration when stuff comes up. Don't fight against it. And then go back to being who you are. And assess from those places. It will move mountains.
That's our only work.
Yes.
Is reality. That's it.
Yes.
I move forward from that.
That's how you ride the wave.
Yes. Okay. Got it.
Yes.
Simple.
Hmm.
If you remember.
Yes. Yeah. There's a lot of powerful energy that's going to be coming through in the coming months, and it's just really important for people to understand that they do have the capabilities within them to ride these energies, to listen to who they are and how they've been responding to these energies over the past couple of years, and really put that into play. This is what happens when the energy is crazy high for me. This is how I feel. This is what I need. This is what I've learned so far. And when the energy has my energy low and I know I'm needing more rest, I know that's the time to integrate everything that I've been given. So I'm going to trust my body. I'm going to rest. I'm going to feed it more water. Be out in nature more to ground. All of these things, when you really put them into play and allow them to serve you, these waves get way more easy. And instead of having these moments of ahas here or there, you're in a constant state of understanding. You're in a constant state of being able to tune in to this quantum field of energy that has this information that's here to serve you. Because you're not attaching yourself in the now moment to the energy that's showing up. You're allowing yourself to take what's needed from this energy and ride these waves. Yeah, staying open to the guidance. Everything's here to serve you right now. And you do know what to do. You all know what to do.
Yeah, I'm really starting to understand that. It really is. When you don't know it until you experience that powerful energy coming through. And it is just an intense frequency, whether it's sadness, out of whackness, boredness. This is
irritation,
irritation. Somebody cuts you off the side of the road. Guess what? Peace just knocking at your door. And just recognize, wow, that was an intense. I'm honking my horn as I'm thinking that was an intense frequency.
Yeah,
that's all it is. And then you're allowing that to serve you. And guess what? People will stop cutting you off.
Yeah. You'll create peace.
Yeah.
You're powerful.
Yeah. Cool.
So the guidance is to raise your frequency.
Yeah.
When you dip, allow yourself to be there and feel what you need to feel. And then take your tools and get yourself out of that space so you can make choices on how you want to proceed forward. Because in that moment, by making that choice, by being aware of the energy around you and choosing to be an active participant, you're literally walking the walk of living the highest version of who you are. And from that space, how can the fifth dimension not show up? It's impossible. When you live what you know, when you tune into what you know right now, you're living the highest version of who you are. And that's the next step. That's what's pulling us into these fifth dimensional realities that are going to manifest, that are manifesting now. We're closer than most imagine.
Yeah, for that. So how, not every light worker, anybody, knows their soul purpose. So for the ones who are really desiring to understand that, how can they start playing in their imagination with new ideas of what if this is my purpose, and imagining what that purpose could be.
For a lot of people, it's still really important for them to ground in the idea that they are a creator.
Yeah.
And the best way for you to ground in the idea that you're a creator is for you to question over and over and over, who am I? And then get back into alignment and allow it to show up for you. But most people are still in the who am I process, and that's perfectly fine. Everybody's path is laid out differently. There's a lot of light workers who are to wake up now for themselves, shine their light. And then as we transfer ourselves into this fifth dimensional reality that's going to actually exist in the here and now, then move into their mission work. A lot of the mission work isn't necessarily here in the 3D. It's what's happening after 3D. The recreation of humanity after 3D is no longer the main reality that's being experienced. That's where the missions begin, because you're creating a whole new way to exist together. And what people are doing right now is, I'm sorry to say, so small in comparison to what we're going to be doing on the other side of this shift.
So literally the job titles haven't even been created yet.
Exactly. And they won't be until there's an opening in the consciousness that really understands who you are. How are you going to understand and take in your purpose when you can't even exist most times in the idea that you're a multidimensional, multifaceted being? There's a lot of energy that's not even yet being tapped into. That's a part of what's going to expand after this. Know that your purpose right now is to be who you are, to be the highest version of who you are, and allow that energy to reach out and touch other people's lives. Because what we're doing right now is we're giving humanity hope for a better day. And that's the most important thing that we can do in this now moment. Not to criticize somebody because they're not ascended enough, or, they're acting out of fear or the ego. None of that. It's to exist in your highest state of being and lead by example. Lead with your heart. Lead with love. Let people see what a fifth dimensional being looks like. Let the idea of a fifth dimensional person even come into their mind. So many people are wrapped up in fear right now. They don't even think that good people exist anymore. That day at the accident, be the good person that exists.
Yeah.
That's how you show up for your brothers and sisters right now. It's not about proving a point. It's not about proving they're in their ego and so that they can awaken to what they're doing. It has nothing to do with that. It's showing them that there's a new
sheriff in town.
Yes. A new dawn.
Yes.
Things don't have to be the same. That's what the light workers are here for. And this is something that we've been trying to get Crystal to understand for the last month and a half. There is no possible way for her to truly understand her mission right now because it has nothing to do with 3D.
But spreading hope, that is a really valid job description right now.
It is.
Much needed. That's probably the most important thing.
Exactly. Right now. Exactly. It is the number one thing right now.
Yeah, that's cool.
Just allowing people to understand that there is still hope. There's still hope.
Yeah.
All is not lost. Love will still win. Yeah.
Love is winning.
Yes. Yes, even if they can't see that.
So that's a good thing to think of every day.
Yes.
I'm setting my intention to spread hope all day.
To be my highest self.
Yes, yes.
To exude that frequency of hope. It's not that you're going to go out and give people words of hope.
No.
And acts of hope.
Right.
You're going to be the hope.
Yeah.
So that when they look at you, they're going to say, wow, all is not lost.
Yeah.
That's what humanity needs right now.
That's a good life purpose right now.
Yeah. Yeah, that is the light workers' third dimensional mission at this time. That is the way you contribute. That is the way that you can be of service.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it's the only way they will even come close to understanding.
Yeah.
It's the only way they can wake up is through themselves. Yes. Be the light.
So, working with new frequencies, are things going to look different as far as, I know we have our tools, imagination, for manifesting are there going to be new tools, new ways of doing things?
Well, the thing is manifestation is instantaneous. It's no longer a thing that you do. It's a byproduct of who you are.
Okay.
And that's why we are saying over and over to Crystal that as you act and become and practice the highest version of who you are, and you express from that person, you manifest as a product of just naturally becoming the expression of you in that frequency that you're desiring. Does that make sense?
Yeah. So to apply that, let's say someone wants to create an online platform, and this is in the moment what they wish to do. So
then they need to come in and sit down every day in confidence that they are creating this platform.
Mhm.
Even if they don't know all the ways to do it, sit down, write a business plan. Visualize what it's going to look like for you, what it's going to feel like for you. Who do you look like as the business person running the successful platform that lives in that desire already? And act from that place right now. Take little small actions every single day that line up with that desire. Same thing with creating your perfect body. Same thing with creating your perfect relationship. Visualize what that looks like for you and practice acting as if you are the version of that person every single day, and allow the manifestation to be the product of who you're choosing to become. Manifestation is so secondary, yet we put it first, and that's resistance in this energy.
Right. So that is part of our practice has been to focus more on the expansion of who we're becoming and being that version of us, and continuously expanding that. It's not about the cars and the trucks and this and that.
No.
It's about the experience and who we are becoming.
Yes.
Choosing who we're becoming moment to moment to moment.
Yes, and who that person feels like.
Yes.
And then you just allow the universe to serve you, and it does every time. It's law.
So when we're in those moments and we're high, using our tools, then the doubt comes in, and then those process, we dip. So you feel that feeling, and then understand that feeling is just a powerful frequency that's here to serve. Mm-hmm. How is it going to serve me? Raise your frequency again. Imagine that frequency is going to serve you, and it pulls you out of fear into utilizing the energy that's there in that moment that you did.
Yes, and for the people who are feeling the trigger too heavily and they can't do that in the now moment, getting out of that frequency in any way you can. It doesn't have to be attached, because you don't want to limit the energy. Mm-hmm. Let the energy be limitless, and pull yourself out by utilizing your affirmations, your positive thinking, kind of distracting yourself completely away from what's going on. And this is how you step outside of having to heal anything. Yeah. You allow your frequency to rise. Now, when your frequency is in a different place, you can look back on that frequency and say, okay, this is who I am, and this is what I choose now. I choose to respond like this. I choose to move forward from here like this. And you have a complete detachment from the emotion. You allowed yourself to feel it. You didn't shut it down. You assess the energy there. Then you allow yourself to get back into the high frequency that you know yourself to be. And from there, you make decisions as to who you are. Where so many people get caught up is they get into these dips and they think that they have to choose or make a choice, or this is how I'm going to move forward from here. And we want to say, just feel the energy and then get yourself out of it. Don't entertain the energy. Don't create more momentum in that space. Let it go. Surrender. Come out. And then decide from that higher frequency who you are. No longer being willing to attach yourself to lower frequencies is the name of the game.
Amen.
There's going to be a lot of growth that comes with this. There's going to be a lot of growth that comes with this. Because this is how you release everything that's no longer serving you. This is how you stay in the moment and really be aware of who you are. Because everything that's kind of coming up, you're going to sit back and assess as you're in these higher frequencies. How do I feel now? Do I want to let this even matter to me? You can catch it in the earlier stages of being a major frequency, when you allow yourself to get in your high space and then attend to the frequencies that are showing up. You keep yourself detached, you keep yourself in a higher frequency, you become more sensitive to the energies around you. You have a whole new experience. Whole new experience. And so we think that you and Crystal should listen back to this video a couple of times and then have a couple of conversations about it and really work with this energy over the next couple of weeks.
Okay.
And allow this to serve you. The most important thing at this time, after everything that's been processed over these last few weeks, is to get the vibration back up.
Yeah.
Get the vibration back up.
And
And the most amazing thing is that neither one of you are even in a low place by any means. But you have expanded so much that this space is no longer serving you. Go with your expansion. Release the habits. This is what we're trying to get Crystal to understand. When you're in an integration period, you're grounding energy, so you're paying more attention to the physical reality around you. You get caught up at times in the third dimensional habits that you've been releasing. And it's hard to notice because these are very habitual. They're very much a part of who you're growing out of. So as you take the time to really allow the frequency to go back up, you're able to access this expansion, this information that you couldn't tap into before because you didn't have that experience. But you're utilizing the energy to your benefit because you're not attaching yourself to the energy. You allow it to serve you because you take the energy into this new place that you're ready to experience from. It's a whole new dynamic to taking your power back and really creating your reality.
so get out of the habit of being yourself.
Yeah, kind of. Kind of, yeah. Be willing to be new. Be willing to step into this energy that you don't quite know what it is. Be willing to be the creator. Yeah. Self-evaluate. Who do I want to be? It sounds so simple, and it is.
Yeah, I experienced that today. It's, just through our walk, raising my vibe up, and then I'm in a place to receive, and that's when the downloads come in. This is exactly who I'm going to be in my everyday go to work, go to the store. This is what I'm going to be doing. This is how I'm going to behave.
Yes.
This is my mission.
This is what I'm choosing to create right now.
Exactly. This
Yeah.
is the new idea for me now.
And be willing to allow that to change at any minute.
Yeah.
At any minute.
That's the fun of it. That's creating.
Yeah.
This is wonderful for now, but then there's going to be something
Because
more.
one day you could be creating and playing in the imagination and grounding the grid, and then the next day you could be playing in the ships for new technologies and new things to bring back down. So putting yourself in a box of this is what I'm here to do right now, this is why we're so kind of against this whole third dimensional mission thing. My mission work. What's my purpose here? What's my purpose here? Your purpose is to be a light. Your purpose is to spread hope and love. Your purpose is just to be who you are now understanding yourself to be.
That's it right there. That is it right there. You're to be the expansion of you. We're constantly looking for a job title. What am I supposed to do? Because we're so programmed, work.
Yes.
We're like workers. No, we're not. We're light beers. We're light expanders.
Yeah. Visionaries.
Visionaries. Exactly. We're not light doers.
You are creating the new earth.
Yeah.
And the more you come into this energy, the more the product that manifestation is going to appear. You want the fifth dimension? Be the fifth dimension.
Yeah.
It's law. It's law. It has to come. Be who you know yourself to be. And if you don't know who you are, then you have some work to do. You have some exploring to do. You have some meeting yourself to do. What do I like? What do I want? What do I think about this? What do I think about love? What do I think about source or God? What do I think about religion? What do I believe about myself and who I'm becoming? Who do I want to become? What does that look like? Play in the imagination. What does that look like? And if you don't know, create it. Well, this is what today I would like it to look like.
Well, the more we move up the vibrational scale through law of attraction, we're going to attract.
You're going to access more information.
Yeah.
Exactly.
It comes naturally, whether it's through a movie, a book, or somebody tells you, it's going to come.
Yes.
It has to.
Exactly. Exactly. And this is why we've been guiding Crystal to talk more about the law of attraction and really utilize these practices, because law of attraction combined with the expanding consciousness that you're able to hold in this now moment is extremely powerful. But people want to use them separately because for some reason expanding your consciousness and law of attraction a lot of times are looked at as very different things. In all reality, they're tools. They're tools for you to be able to access different energies and choose how you want to express yourself as source, here and now. It's perfect. It's perfect. So, we are complete.